All right, so welcome everybody to our Monday Night Team Zoom call. I am so honored and excited to have Diamond Ambassador Roz Payne with us. So many on our team have just expressed like, okay, how do we work this business and work full time and be a wife, be a mom, all the things, and get to a jewel status. And so I thought, hey, Roz, I met in Jules training, gosh, a year and a half ago, I think. And you guys, when she spoke, I was just mesmerized by her. She's very professional. She comes from a professional industry and marketing and an ad agency. She worked full time along with being a mama and a wife up until Sapphire. And I know she did that rather quickly as well. So I'll let her share all of that story. But Roz, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's late in Texas, so I don't want to take any additional time from you and just let you get started. So I am recording for all of our teams and I will share after the call. So take it away, Roz. Thank you.
Sure thing. And thank you guys so much for having me. I'm honored to get to speak to y'all. Like she said, my name is Rosalind Payne. I'm a Diamond Gold Ambassador with Plexus. And I have been with Plexus since June of 2013. I actually was a massive skeptic when I first heard about Plexus. My best friend at the time, some of you might know her, her name is Celeste Gwynn. She had come to the game with about a 35-pound weight loss. She'd been on the products for about, maybe 6-8 months. And when her college best friend reached out to her and said, hey, why don't you just join my team? Because you could really help me, and et cetera, et cetera. And Celeste went ahead and signed up. And the first person that she contacted was me. And she said, Roz, we totally have to do this Plexus thing. And all I heard was like, wah, wah, wah. I was like, I want nothing to do with it, Celeste. And she's like, come on, it'd be so fun. And I was like, this isn't me. I was a marketing professional. I'd been in advertising for 19 years. I had worked for some of the biggest ad agencies in Dallas. I owned my own ad agency at one time. It was just, and the crazy thing is that at the time that she approached me, I was actually working 3 jobs because I'd had an ad agency. The recession of '07 wiped us out, but I had a couple clients hanging on. Then I was running the marketing and the media for a private school here in town. So I had that full-time job, had 2 of my clients from back in the day I was still working. So I was working probably about 50 hours a week. I had to be at a desk 9 to 5. And then the minute that was over, I was off helping on my other clients and working on them. For any of you all that work, it is a challenge. It is hard to think of doing anything else outside of your 9 to 5. You give so much to that the minute you have a free moment, all you want to do is either just stare and watch Netflix or zone out, or you're just exhausted. And it's interesting because when somebody says, hey, you need to come do this with me, it's easy to immediately dismiss it. You're like, there's no way. I have 0 time. And so I blew her off and she was just kind of like, looking at me like, okay, you'll come around. I was like, no, not going to come around. So, I was really watching, to be completely honest, I was watching to see if this thing was going to fail because I had never known anybody successful in network marketing. I didn't even know that much about network marketing, but what I did know, I didn't like. I had so many preconceived notions of what I thought network marketing was based on all that I had seen. And so I was just like, I don't want to be one of those people. That's just not me. I was extremely prideful. All I could think about too was, what is this going to make me look like? I'm a director of marketing. I've got, I went to college. I have this degree. I've worked my way up the ladder to be where I am. Why in the world would I step away and do something like that? So this is where my headspace was when she first came to me. So she said, okay. And then she, over the next 3 solid months, proceeded to sign up almost every one of my friends as either an ambassador or a customer. And I was like, y'all are all crazy. I mean, I'm looking at all of them like they're whatever. Are all just jumping off the bridge. They're all just following. This is just not me. But what was fascinating was that as the months went by and I watched my friends do this, they were all getting healthier. They were all making money. Some of them were already talking about retiring or not doing their part-time job. Some were telling me their goals of retiring through this. And I was like, how in the world? And they would walk into my office because I worked for the school that my children went to, and a bunch of us all went to this called McKinney Christian Academy down here in Dallas, Texas. And they would walk in my office, and we had paper checks back then. This was 2013. And they'd walk up and slam their paycheck on my desk and be like, boom, and they'd walk out. And I would look down, I'm like, she just made $5,000 posting on Facebook? And I was like, I mean, my mind was blown. I was like, it wasn't computing. I was like, this has to be shady and illegal. How are they pulling this off? And so, you know, I continued for 3 solid months to be a skeptic. I continued trying to figure out in my mind, grapple, how is this really working for them? And it wasn't until my husband kind of came to me and he was like, babe, why aren't you looking? Why would you even consider doing this with your friends? And I was like, oh, not you two. Come on. No, I'm not going to do this. And he said, well, you know what? We could really use the money. At the time, my husband and I were working so hard, you know, dual income family, working long hours, but y'all know how it is. We were barely able to make ends meet. It's like every time we felt like we were ahead, boom, that, you know, the radiator went out in one of the cars. Boom, we needed a new hot water heater. Boom, the fence blew down. Insurance wouldn't pay for it. We had to build a new. It was always something. And it was just, you felt like you were shackled. It was like, I thought, I'm going to work for the rest of my life. This is crazy that in 2013, we couldn't even make ends meet with two, and we were two professional, you know, we had a two professional income household. And I was like, well, how in the world is this happening? And how in the world are these folks? Some of them had never worked a day in their life. How are they doing what they're doing and being so successful? So in this conversation with my husband, he said, why don't you give this a try? I said, absolutely not. And he said, babe, this could really help us. This could really help our son. Some of you know the story. My son is high functioning on the autism spectrum, and he was needing a neurotherapy. And that therapy was going to cost about $1,000 a month out of pocket, and my insurance refused to pay for it. And we felt broken. We were like, how in the world are we in this position where we can't even provide for our own son, yet we're working ourselves to the bone? And it was really scary. He was going into middle school, and I was so scared to see him go to middle school. Any of you guys with children or around that middle school age, it's hard for typical children. It was hard for all of us in middle school. We just think about a child with a disability. It was heartbreaking, and it was just keeping me up at night and killing me. And I knew that this therapy could help balance some of the challenges he had. I knew it. I had friends who'd gone through it. They had massive success. And John and I were like, we can't do it. So the minute he said, what if this could help Colton? That was a very changing moment in my journey. It was like, boom, a huge paradigm shift immediately, because I went from this whole time thinking about how this would make me look and how this would affect me to, oh my gosh, what if this could positively affect my son? What if this could positively affect my family? So I thought, okay, if it's for Colton, I will give it a try. I'll give anything a try. And I honestly said, we'll probably make $200, so we're going to have to pray through the rest, because I have no idea how this really works. So I called Celeste and said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. I wrote down notes on a sheet of paper, and I went to work. And y'all, in my first full month with Plexus, I made $1,200 commission. And I remember just being floored, because I was able to cover Colton's therapy, but B, I had this extra $200. It was like a gift from the Lord saying, take this opportunity. You have this shot. You have this amazing shot to do something that benefits other people. Like, you know, y'all realize when I was in advertising for so many years, not one time did I ever do anything that I felt like was life-changing or helping somebody. But in Plexus, I was realizing that I'm doing things that are changing people's health. I'm doing things, you know, to help people become financially free. I'm getting text messages from these spouses of my friends saying, thank you, you saved my life. You put this stuff in her hands, and now she was destitute. She was on the couch. She couldn't get up. She was depressed. Our marriage was falling apart, giving me this whole list. And he said, now she's up. Now our life has changed, and it's for the better. And I'm so grateful. And I remember reading these texts thinking, not one time in my entire 19-year career did I ever get anything that was this special. did I ever feel like I've done something that changed somebody's life and it matters? And that feeling was incredible. It was incredible. And I thought, okay, I think I'm really where I need to be. I think I'm in the right place. I think this is what I'm meant to do. And so, everybody talks about their why. My first why when I started was my kiddo. Oh, there he is right there. He's in the other room making hey, bud. He's in there making cookies right now. I'll talk a little quiet. He doesn't like it when I talk about him. So I went from that moment, my first why was that little guy in there, little guy. He's now 17, by the way. And then it shifted to, what if I could be home with my kids? I'd always worked. I'd been working since I was 16 years old. And I so desperately wanted to be that mom that was home when the kids got home from school, that could be the room mom, that could volunteer at the Valentine's party, that the mom that didn't always have to say no and always have to say, sorry, I'm not going to be there, or have somebody else pick up my kids, or have the grandparents watch my kids over the summer. Summers were the worst for me. I remember a calendar, I still kept them just as a memory of how hard it was. I would print out a paper calendar from like Microsoft Outlook, and every summer I had a 3-month calendar, and I filled it in with all these people that would shuttle my kids around to. And it just killed me. I was like, why is it that I have to work so hard and I can't be the mom I want to be? So I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to, I'm going to see if I could do this. I'm going to see if I can really work this, because if I could make $1,200 just posting on social media and telling a few friends out and about this, what if I really treated this like a business? What if I treated it like the companies that I ran? What if I really put on my blinders and went to work and said, I'm doing this. I don't really care what happens. I don't care about what negativity flies my way. I don't care about what anybody else thinks, because their thoughts don't pay my bills. And their thoughts and their opinions of what I do are not taking care of that kid right there. And I went after it. I was like, okay, Celeste, I'm doing this. I'm gonna retire. I want to be home with my kids. And guys, it was hard. It was, there were some sacrifices I had to make. But to do hard things, or to achieve something big, you got to do some hard things. And the sacrifices weren't crazy, y'all. So how did I do it? I remember I would come home at night and I would just be done. And I would just lay in my bed and just stare at the TV and watch TV. I started to pop open my laptop and do a little work at night. And y'all know, Plexus work is very different when someone's saying, sure, I'll try. The minute they say, sure, I'll try, it's like you get this little adrenaline rush. You're like, oh my gosh, they're trying. I got somebody. And it's not like that feeling so outweighed the feeling of zoning out and staring at a TV set. I remember multiple times people saying, sure, I'll try. Sure, you know what? I'd like to join. I kind of am interested in this business thing. And I would get 2 or 3 of these messages a night. And I'm like, this is so much fun. Because not only was I making, financially making money every single yes, I was also, every single yes I was a little bit closer to the freedom that I so desired, that I wanted so bad. I wanted to be at the pool at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday with my kids. I had never been at a pool at 10 a.m. on Tuesday with my kids. I worked in a cubicle or an office every day of my life. That little goal, and what I would do is I had pictures of my kids and I would stick them all around my computer. Those are my whys. So when I got the negative Uncle Joe who would be like, what is this crap you're doing? Or you get some shady friend from 3rd grade going, I thought pyramid schemes were illegal. Whatever people were throwing my way, I was like, oh, bless your heart. Good luck. You're going to probably come around in a few years and want to join this team. So I'm going to bless and release you. Thank you for your opinion, but I'm going to go ahead and unfriend you for a moment. And I really carved anything negative out. I was like, I'm not going to let the devil come in and take away this opportunity that was going to change their lives, because it was going to change mine, but it was going to change my family's just as equally. And so I just, guys, went after it. Let's see, from the day I started June 3rd, in March of the next year. So in, gosh, how many months is that? 9 months. I went Emerald. 2 months after that, I went Sapphire. And 3 months after that, I went Diamond. People are like, how did that happen? Because I call it pretty much legs to my stool. I found 4 or 5 strong legs immediately. I found people who wanted the business, and we all worked it together. A lot of the girls who joined my team, I told you, Celeste already had talked to all my friends and she'd signed a lot of them up as customers or ambassadors. So of course, one of the first questions I thought was, who in the world am I going to sign? Well, those were just the friends we had mutually. And I'd only known her since 2007, 2008. We met when our kids first started school together when they were 4. And what I didn't realize is I had a lot of friends from my past pre-Celeste friend days, if you will. You know, I've been in multiple churches. I had all these friends from there. I had my first job, my second job, my third job, Girl Scouts. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, by the way. I've lived there for 14 years. Had all of those friends. Had my friends from high school, from college. I mean, so many. And then I had this whole career where I had all these business professionals. Well, what I thought about is, okay, who could I get to join my team that would want to do this like I do? And who do I know that has a high level of integrity, has a strong character, can multitask, can work their way around a computer? These are questions that I literally had in my mind of characteristics of people that I wanted as the legs to my stool, as the columns to my business. And a lot of them were past people I worked with in advertising. So my first probably 3 strongest positions are all past ad executives. Some of you might know Andrea Mitchell. She's a diamond down here in Dallas. She's under me. She was my assistant for 2 years at one of these ad agencies. Sapphire Susan Stern, she's from Boise, Idaho. She's another executive from the same ad agency. She was in the office right next to me. Kim Pollock, certified health coach, Emerald Ambassador out of Denver, Colorado. She was on the office on the other side of me. These are all legs to my stool. Another one of my leaders is Melissa Shaver. We went to church together at First Baptist McKinney right down here, right down the street. Another one of my strong players is Sarah Anderson. She's senior Ruby. She has a long line, her and her cousin or sister-in-law, Sam, and then Justine Folker. A lot of you know her. She's a Brene Brown teacher. These are all people that I knew that I was like, I know the character of all these people. I wanted to ensure that my team was a quality team, that they had my same idea, my same values, my same moral. I didn't want anything shady to go in my business. I'd been around enough shady corporate America that I knew if I ever had my own business, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to have good people. I'm going to have honest people. There's not going to be anything. I mean, guys, there is so much shady stuff that goes on in corporate America. I didn't want any of that in this new opportunity I had. I was an entrepreneur. I had a chance to create whatever I wanted out of my business. And that's just one quick little sidebar. Sometimes I do these rabbit trails really quick, but you guys, most of y'all are probably leaders of a team. You have people underneath you. You know, the best advice I can give you in that, and especially if you do come from corporate America or you are working, is do your best not to treat your downline like you're their boss, but you're there just to encourage, love on, inspire, kind of be an advocate for. I really found that treating my downline very respectfully and allowing them, you know, I taught them quickly too how to be resourceful themselves. Not for me not to handhold them. The reason I had to do that, y'all, is because I worked full time. I didn't have time to get on and do daily trainings at 10 or at 3. I was always working. So what I would do is I communicated very strongly with them at the very beginning, right when they signed up. I laid out parameters. I said, okay, this is great. This is how we're going to do this. You can only reach me at lunch and about 4 to 5 o'clock when I pick up the kids, and then at 8 after when my children are in bed. Those are my only office hours. Otherwise, you can send me messages. I'm going to have to let them stack up, and then I'll answer them at those times. But I'm going to connect you with all my other level ones, and you guys can all help each other. This is where you search on the search boxes on all the pages. I showed them how to be resourceful, and then I pushed them into the deep end. And I was like, go get them, guys. Reach out to me at lunch, and we'll talk. And they had to learn, and all of them, you can ask any of them, all of them say that being forced, I guess it really wasn't forced, but having to be self-reliant at the very beginning taught them all the ins and outs of Plexus very fast. Because if you can reach out to your upline and ask them a question, they just answer it and you just move on, that's great. And when you're in a hurry, that's great. It really helps you do your business fast. But if you have to go find that information, you're much more apt to retain it and learn it. And then you can share with your downline resourceful ways to find information instead of just always asking somebody. Because I have I've been in the business for a long time. I think since I've been in business, I've had between 50 and 55,000 people join my organization. If all these people were calling me all the time, there is no way that I could ever get anything done. It's the old adage, if you teach a man to fish. I was teaching my team how to fish from the get-go because I didn't have a choice, but I realized this really works. But then it was great. So they were all finding their information, and when they did kind of hit a roadblock, they waited, and then at noon, boom, my phone was blowing up, and I would go out just like Andrea's out in her car. I'd be out in my car, and I'd be like, okay, guys, what do we got? And they're like, Roz, we have all these questions, and we were, and back in the day, we had nothing. Okay, we had no videos, we had no documents, we had no trainings, we had nothing. We were flying by the seat of our pants. We were making up things as we went. So we were like all creating stuff as we went. We didn't have Zoom, didn't exist. We had free conference call. So all we could do was talk on the phone, but we did it. We did it with so few resources. But what we all did have in common, we had unbelievable, incredible products that were changing lives. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people on my team are living a better life, are living a healthy life, have survived a marriage, has survived a job, have helped their children out of the depths of whatever they're in, struggling with anxiety and ADD and anything that they're hit with, rosacea and severe, dangerous gut health that was affecting all their body and manifesting in so many different ways. I've watched this, I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've experienced it through them sharing testimonies. My belief in these products, hands down solid. I have no question about it. We all had these same products. We also all had phones and Wi-Fi and laptops. And we're like, all right, guys, we all have. And what we did too, I had a few others that were working at the same time. We shared everything with each other. It would be like, hey guys, I just put up this post and I really got a lot of traction on it. And I'm really excited. You guys might want to use this. Great. What was it? And boom, we'd all share the post, because a lot of us, we had very different circles, which was nice because these girls were my friends from 15 years prior. So we all had gone off in different ways. Now they all live all over the country. So they had their neighbors and pockets. That really worked. Let's see. Another thing I did when I was working full time, I got very organized. I knew that I wouldn't be able to be digging for a post I like or retyping a message of what is Plexus to everybody every time they asked me, because I was working full time. I only had that little lunchtime hour and those little pockets after work. So I woke up this was the very, very beginning. I woke up about 2 hours before my family on a Saturday. I decided I'm going to get up early and I'm going to get myself organized. And on my laptop at the time, actually iPhones were a little bit different. Even 6 years ago, we couldn't do what we can do now on them. How sad is that? 6 years ago, but what I'm saying is what I did back then was kind of hard. I could even do it quicker now on my phone. I made all these files on my computer of different categories. One said BioCleanse, one said ProBio 5, one said Ease, and anything I found that I liked within those categories, I just popped them into those folders. So that when I did need access to something, I could just go to my folders, find it, and send it. Now you can do that, in photos on iPhone. You can make albums. Just make an album for each of these. That would have been great back then. Now we have Notes is really usable and really accessible. I could use Notes. There's all ways you can get yourself organized. But also, the one thing that I did that really helped me more than anything is I wrote an email to myself answering the question, what is Plexus? I also wrote an email to myself answering, what does it mean to be an ambassador? Another one I wrote was, what is Plexus Slim? We didn't have the triplex back then. So it was, what is Plexus Slim? So I wrote an email to myself answering these three. And when I received those three, I put them in a file called forwards. So if anybody ever inboxed me, which they did all day long while I was working, hey Roz, so tell me about this Plexus thing. I was like, great, send me your email address. They would send me their email. I would pull up that answer, what is Plexus, put in their email and hit forward, boom, done. I have gone back and they're still on my computer, and I go to my sents folder from 2013 and 2014, and there are hundreds of these that I sent out because it took me 2 seconds. As long as I had their email address, boom, boom, send, boom, boom, send. boom, boom, send. It was so easy. That's how I got all the information out. Oh, another one we did was nursing testimonies, because at the time, sadly, 6 years ago, a lot of my friends were younger, and a lot of my friends in circles were new mamas, and they were nursing. So a lot of people had that question. And so we had another email that said, was nursing testimonies. And so that saved the day. Now I know we talk a lot about scripts, so it's really like, it's your own script, and you put it in your own words. That was the great thing about it. You type it as if you're talking, you use your vernacular, you make it sound natural. Mine were just like, hey girl, I'll give an example of what it said. Hey girl, so excited you're interested in Plexus. I said, this is pretty incredible. All my friends here, we've all jumped in, and everybody is doing fabulous. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's just a line of supplements helping everything from ADD, ADHD, autoimmune issues, migraines, the whole gamut. It was just something that was real short. That was one paragraph. I didn't send them the whole world. I send them enough just to get them super interested. I would send them just about, what it is. And then I would say, I said, the best thing about this is you don't have any inventory, and tons of people are using these products in lieu of medications. I said, the compensation, never used compensation plan, because even that term didn't make sense to me before Plexus. So I thought, well, if it doesn't make sense to me, it's going to make sense to them. I just said, the way this company pays us is pretty incredible. Lots of bonuses, really high commission rate. Said, I think you could really make some really nice money really fast. And these products are, I said these products are, people use these products every day. These are not like handbags or candles or mascara. These are consumable products that people are using every day. I said, so it's really been great to be able to get these in people's hands. If you're interested, let me know, because this whole process has been a complete game changer for my family, and I'm just feeling blessed. I had so many people sign up on that one message. So many sign up and join my team on that message. And it was just being honest. It was just, I wasn't being salesy. Hi, let me tell you about Plexus. Plexus Worldwide is a no. It was just me saying, this is what it is to me. This is how it works. Best part, I say this all the time to people, best part, try it for 2 months. You don't like it, get all your money back. So it's such a win-win. You're kind of crazy not to give it a try. And people are like, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. I'll go ahead and give it a shot. I'm like, cool, let me send you my link. And if you need any help hooking up, I'll help you send it up. But and also about the whole, something else, and I remember Celeste told me this at the very beginning too, when people want to buy, preferred customer is just the way that I share with everybody. I don't hide anything from anybody. There is no smoke and mirrors when I talk to people at all, but I make sure that they are completely aware of the smartest way to do the program, to step in. My friends with me, I'm sitting there working and it's so crazy busy, and I did type up another one on how do I buy, or how do I buy Plexus? And it was like, okay, what do I do to order? And I would send them an email that just said, okay, girl, this is what you do. And it was, you're going to want to get it the cheapest. You're going to want to go ahead and get this. You click on this button called Preferred. It'll make sure that you get your products every month at the same time. It's fabulous. With one click of a button, you can turn it off. There's no contracts. And I put some bold, there are 0 contracts with Plexus. So get yourself signed up. You're welcome to pay full price. No one really does. If you want stuff as cheap as I get it, you can sign up as wholesale. And if you are having a hard time paying for products and you would like to have help paying for your products or get them for free, you got a couple friends who want to get their hands on these too, have them sign up under you, and boom, you got your stuff paid for. So you just let me know what you're thinking about. And if you have any interest in really making this a career or making a little bit of side money to pay for your car payment, just let me know and I will totally hook you up. We can do this together. That's what, and you know what, now as it went on and as the iPhones advanced, in about 2015, the little button came around that you could hit and leave voice messages. And the voice message button really changed the way that I shared Plexus. I would use Voice Messenger, and then you can forward that voice message to multiple people. So because when people can hear the inflection in my voice, they're much more apt to act on that. And I found that too. So I would step out in my car, and I could sit there and, leave voice. I would actually leave a recording and send it. But now for you guys, if you're working, you can leave a voice message saying, hey girl, not sure if you heard about this new promotion. If you want to get your hands on a free iPad, I can totally show you how to do this. This is insane. They did this promotion 3 years ago and it was massive. Give me a shout. I totally want to get an iPad in your hands and we can do this together. I'm so excited. Send. And I would hit send. And I would send that to all my best girlfriends from college. I got 3 of them that have texted me back and they're like, girl, how do I get an iPad? I'm like, it's okay, let's go. Let's do this. And so it's like the more natural way, the more natural I was sounding, the more people were coming to me. So let me take one more tip here for when I was working full time. Being organized was a very big deal. And everyone organizes in a different way. I used spreadsheets. I used to train in Excel. So not that I'm like nerdy green, but I just knew Excel because I had to for my job. I had to do these massive media plans for all these clients. And so I had everybody on Excel and everybody I'd reached out to, I'd pop their name in and then I would write down when I reached out to them. And that really helped me. And then I realized, well, that's hard when I run out to my car to do business. So then I just started putting it in a notebook, kind of went old school. But now with the new Dough app that's out, I think some of your team may be on the Dough app. If they're not, I'm sure they will be able to hop on pretty soon. The Dough app did exactly what my spreadsheet and did exactly what my notebook did, except it's on my phone and it's feeding me people to reach out to. So if I was working full time, I would have loved the Dough app. It is fabulous. Yeah, I see Cheryl saying it's awesome. Girl, it is. It totally is awesome. And it really is. It just frees you up. So when you're working full time too, I know it's hard because you don't ever want to disrespect your employer. You don't ever want to do anything where you're like hiding out working your Plexus business when you should really be working for the job in which you were hired. So I felt that the more I showed my company respect and the more I did mine kind of on my own, in my own free time, the more I felt my business was blessed. It did go fast. Like I say, in 9 months, I went Emerald. I turned in my resignation notice around then, but I worked to the end of the school year, which was a May. And so I was a Sapphire ambassador when I left. There were 3 of us that left the school at the same time. We all retired because of Plexus. Laura Cloud, she's a Sapphire ambassador. She was my son's 4th grade teacher. Beth Anderson, she's a Diamond ambassador. She and I's desks faced each other in the office, and we would sit there and work like it was lunch. I was like, girl, okay, how many points do you have? And we have, and I remember it was like, she was like a senior Ruby or something, and she's like, okay, what do these white lines mean? No. And so some of you that are old understand, everybody that was active was green, but if they went inactive, they turned white. Well, we were so new and had so much momentum that everybody was green, and all of a sudden they were white ones. And she's like, what does this white mean? I'm like, dude, we got to find out what this white means. And then when we found out white meant people were leaving, we're like, oh my gosh, people could actually leave. We were so new to network marketing. Neither of us had ever done it. So I think that's what made this so unique. I think, how did all of us blow up at the very beginning? There was no other network marketing company utilizing the platform of social media to market themselves. One of my Sapphires on my team told me, she said, Roz, when I saw what you guys were doing, I thought they are either complete idiots or the most brilliant marketers I've ever seen. Because she was shocked that we were actually utilizing this social interaction site to sell our products. And lo and behold, she realized that we were pretty brilliant and had figured out how to make this work. And it was so great, especially for us working mamas. You guys, I know how you feel. I know. I know how trapped you can feel. I know how desperate you want to be with your kids. I know what it feels like to have a boss that tells you you have to sit in that seat and when you can leave that seat and when you can take vacations with your families. I know. I was you for years. But I also had this dream and desire to be with my kids. And I didn't care if I was going to have a slow month. I didn't care if there was a roadblock. I didn't care that I sat month after month after month at Silver going, what do I do? How do I flip these people to ambassadors? I don't understand how to do this. And when I figured out how to flip them, because I had a really high PV at the beginning, like a lot of people do, you have a great PV and you're like, I'm making all this money. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to switch to an ambassador because I'm going to lose that money. The amount of residual income that I have received from flipping those people to ambassadors has gotten me to Diamond. And once I finally settled in that fact, it's a bit of a risk. It's a bit of a gamble to flip a whole bunch of those. But guys, it is so worth it. It is so worth it. Because now I'm able, at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday to be at the pool with my kids. And I'm able to, show up at at their Valentine's party and their Christmas party and be that mom who picks up all the kids and takes them to the mall after school. I mean, that stuff fills my cup. Because at the end game, what's most important to me is the Lord and my family. And this business has been just a conduit to getting me to where I want to be and achieve these dreams that I never thought I could ever achieve. Now financially, I make more in 1 month than I made in an entire year at my highest salary as a media director of an ad agency in Dallas. It is crazy. And my husband and I are still like, what? This is insane. Still, this long and every month, we just look at it and we're like, how in the world does this happen? But guys, it didn't come from just sitting back and hiding behind my computer. And it didn't come from me giving up when times got tough. Because there's been tough months. But you know what? When I was in advertising, there were tough months too. I was at ad agencies where they made everybody take a 10% pay cut, the entire company, where they laid people off just because they lost a client, where they had a really bad month and, everybody's bonuses were frozen. We had hard months. This business is cyclical just like anything else, just like automotive, the housing industry. I mean, you see that real estate's high, real estate's low. Automotive, everything's great. Boom, GM plants, and they fire half their GMs across the nation. This industry is no different. So why would we give up this golden opportunity just because we had a rocky couple months? We're crazy. We have an opportunity to do things that nobody could ever do. And we can do it all from this crazy phone. I can sit in my carpool line and I can sit and make my family 5-figure income every month from this phone. Guys, I would not give that up. I would not throw in the towel. And the grass is never greener on the other side. I'm here to stay. I'm planted in this company because I believe in them. I believe in Alec and Carl. I think they're two of the most brilliant men. I know them personally. I had their little numbers on my cell phone only because I'm a corporate trainer, not because it's something weird. You're like, okay, that was weird. No, I just want you to know, I know them on a personal level and they're good people. And when things get rocky with the company, they hurt because trust me, they don't want to be losing money any more than we want to be losing money, right? They own the company. They have set up everything with this company to benefit us, the ambassadors. Oh, sorry. My daughter's friends are trying to FaceTime her. So I apologize for that. But I just got to say, I love this company. I believe everybody at corporate, they're honorable, they're good people. And I told y'all earlier, I've worked for some shady people. These guys, they're the real thing. And I'm honored. I'm honored to stick with it. I'm honored to be in this company. And I just wish all y'all the best. You can do this. You can do it. Do not give up. It may take longer. You may sit at silver for a long time. You may be at gold for 2 years, but hey, guess what? Where you are at gold, you're making more money now than if you weren't doing it right. You still have money coming in on the side, and you don't have to want to go to the top to be an ambassador with Plexus, guys. If all you need is to pay for your car payment, $400 or $500, that's fine. Sit back and enjoy that and ride in that. If you want to do a little bit more and make a couple grand a month and put money away for your kids' college, we can figure that out in a heartbeat how to do that. But if you want to make this a career, it can be a career for the taking. You just have to want it. You have to fight hard for it. But trust me, you can get there. So thank you guys so much. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time tonight.
Oh gosh, you were amazing. Who else is inspired? Let's show Roz some love in the comments because I have notes. And I know somebody was asking if she could read something. It's recorded. I'll post on Bridget's team page. I'll post on our team page. You guys can, I'm going to go back and re-listen. You said something about, think about people who are organized, think about people who are hard workers, and people started coming to my mind. I see Sammy over here and I saw her nodding too, because we're in the service industry and there's hustlers in the service industry. And I started thinking of people. I'm like, yes, okay, I still am not tapped out. You guys, there's people everywhere. And so I just so
agree. Andrea, do they have any questions? If they want to ask me questions, I'm open to answering questions. I don't know how long this call normally goes, but
Anybody? Don't be shy.
anybody have a question?
Maybe they don't.
Anything?
No. Okay.
Totally fine if you don't. I just wanted to make sure. Because I feel bad when I get off and they're like, oh, I wish I would have asked you, blah, blah, blah. I'm here.
Hey, Roz, it's Rhonda. I have a question.
Hi, Rhonda Shaw.
How are you?
Good, honey. How are you?
Good. I love you. Thank you so much for pouring into our team and encouraging them tonight and sharing your story. Sure. I share your story often because most people, have a full-time commitment, when they're starting Plexus.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to you is, I know you have a lot of moms, especially, Andrea Mitchell comes to mind and stuff. And just what are even some things you've watched them do for like the moms that are overwhelmed, like they have special needs kids or someone like me, I homeschool all my kids, or just feeling like, oh my gosh, how can I get it done? And I loved some of your tips about being better organized, being able to do things quicker. What are some of the other things that you've seen, especially when you're kind of in that middle ground? Mm-hmm. Can't really hire people to help you yet, you know what I mean? Because you're still trying to financially get there. Do you have can you share just some encouragement or
absolutely.
Watch other people do?
I think it's interesting because even for, those working in corporate America, we found pockets of time that we could work and we stuck to it. And I know if you've got a lot of littles at your feet, you can't stay usually committed to a specific time because that time can fluctuate. Your baby might not take that afternoon nap. Or, oh my gosh, my daughter just pulled a jar of olive oil and shattered it all over the floor, and it's going to take me 8 hours to clean this up. You know what I mean? But guys, utilize the time that your kids are sleeping. Utilize that time when the kids are going down at 8 o'clock. Know that 8:01, boom, you're going to hit this. You know what your kid's schedule is. If you know that they get up a certain time, even getting up 20 minutes early. Just that little 20-minute window, grabbing yourself a Slim or cup of coffee, however you start your day, and intentionally doing IPA. This does not mean scrolling through Facebook. This is, you're going to stop. I'm going to reach out to 5 people, and then I'm going to move on. It will be hard. It's a bit more of a moving target, but it feels good when you do it. It's hard when you put it on your schedule and then you never do it and you just keep kind of pushing it off and you're like, well, I should probably just do one more load of laundry. There were things I sacrificed a bit. I didn't do that extra load of laundry. I would make some calls. The clothes were a little bit dirtier that season. I did the laundry, but there were just little things that I gave up on or sacrificed. And I had to do that, especially when you've got, and really it's putting yourself on your calendar too. Maybe getting with your husband or your spouse and saying, I'd love to take Tuesday nights for me. If you could do the kids' bedtime routine on Tuesdays, and that's my work night. And maybe that bedtime routine starts at 6:37, right when dinner's over. Not sure. I'm just saying, for example, and I have team members who've done this, who've picked 1 or 2 days, like one day and one, maybe Sunday afternoon where they get a 2-hour window where daddy has the kids. And those are your Plexus times. And you have it, put it on your family calendar and you block it out. Also maybe to block time with your spouse. Put date nights for you and your husband on the calendar. Put mommy and me times that you're going to have specific times where you are going to look your children in the eyes. You are going to plug your phone in and put it in a different room. You're going to read them a book. You're going to play Candyland. You're going to sit with your teenage daughter and ask her how her day went and start drilling her on, tell me about your friends. Tell me who's the craziest. Tell me who's the funniest. And just have intentional conversations with your family. And then share with them throughout these conversations why you're doing what you're doing. You share with them, I'm doing this for you. And you know what? I'm doing this so I can have more of this time, more of this one-on-one time with you, because this is what I want. You're my number one, not that business and not that phone. But that business and that phone is going to give me more time with you. I really truly believe that gathering your family together, and as I think Carrie Wilkerson said, she calls them your shareholders. Share this experience with them, and maybe have a deadline surprise. If mommy can get here, if mommy can do this, we will all go to Chuck E. Cheese together. We will all go to a trip to the lake together. We will all go to Disney World together. Whatever that goal is, whatever that dollar amount is, allow them in on that ride. When you're experiencing ups and downs and excitement and this and that, spend some time with your spouse and share with him about what's going on with Plexus. They can feel very alone when you're in your computer in your own little world and you're dealing with all the stress. But when you can stop and share with them and say, gosh, the craziest thing happened. What would you do in this situation? You may not take his advice, but at least you're asking him, and he feels important and he feels heard. And he's like, you know what? And then he might check back in. Hey, what happened with that situation you were dealing with last Tuesday? And you're like, babe, it was crazy. It all worked out, blah, 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 blah. But you're including your shareholders in the journey. You're including your kids in the journey. And so then taking time away from them and popping away while they're doing, hey, mom, come jump on the trampoline. Kids, I need to make 4 phone calls, and then I'm going to come jump on that trampoline, because these 4 phone calls will let me jump longer on that trampoline. So give me just a few minutes. And yeah, they're going to bucket and they're kids, but still you're communicating, you're being honest, and you're doing your best to make a better life for them. So that's kind of run as something that we've all done here on my team. I hope that answers. Oh, there you are saying thank you. You're still muted. So there, if anybody else has anything, I'm happy to answer, or afterwards, you can ask Andrea, she can get it to me, and I'm happy to answer anything, you guys, absolutely anything.
Sammy had a question. She asked,
Sure.
Do you ever cold reach out? And if so, what is the message you find works best for you?
And when you say cold reach out, do you mean somebody that I don't know at all, or somebody that?
She's saying yes. I see you nodding.
Okay, all right, okay. Somebody that I don't know at all. If it's somebody that I don't know at all, it's going to be a little bit more general. I don't quite do as many of those because I want my time to be utilized to reach out intentionally to people who I know need the business or I know need the products. I completely troll on Facebook. I will go on Facebook, and I utilize that because people say don't scroll all day. And when I say scroll, that means just mindlessly just reading to see what the latest and greatest gossip is. When I take time, I'll take about 15 minutes of time, and I do research on social media. And I go through and I find people that need this. I try to solve people's problems through Plexus. I find people talking about not being able to sleep. I find people talking about being laid off from a job, and I go after every one of those. Cold messaging, just flat out cold messaging to people, I don't do that very often, but if I would, you're going to want to talk as little as possible, and you are going to want to say what Plexus is and how it helped you. Because the challenge is you don't know this person, you don't have a relationship with them, so you don't really know how to speak to them, so you're going to want to speak in a general way. Hey there, let's say it's somebody that you ran into, I don't know, at a nail salon or whatever, and you shared a story about something and you've got friended each other on Facebook. If you reach back out to them and said, hey, we just met each other in a salon. I know this sounds totally crazy, but you've been on my mind, and I just feel like I kind of want to share this with you. Do you know anybody that struggles with ADD, ADHD, autoimmune issues, migraines? If you do, I've got my hands on some crazy supplements or just some crazy products. I don't think I even use the word supplements much anymore. That's a story for another day. But I got my hands on these products. If you know anybody that could utilize these, would you be willing to give them my number? Because I've got lots of friends who are coming off the medications to take these. And the cool thing is they can take them for 2 months and get all their money back. But know anybody? What I've just done is I've asked them if they know anybody, so they don't think I'm selling to them. That's key. I don't want them to think, I want your money, I'm selling to you. When really, I'm trying to see if I can help them. I'm trying to see if there's a way that these products can fit in their life the way they fit in mine. But people, just in the general public, always think we're trying to sell to our friends. Okay? That I'm not trying to sell to my friend. I'm not trying to talk you into a candle that you totally don't need and it's a luxury item and that you might or might not buy that may or may not work. I'm offering you something that can completely take take the spot of Motrin in your cabinet, Motrin that negatively affects your liver. How about you try Ease? How about you try a product that you completely load up on? It takes away all inflammation and is completely natural. And there's nothing harmful. There's no chemicals. Would that interest you at all? I mean, it's fascinating. The more honest and the more real you talk to people about this stuff, the more they're like, yeah, that's interesting. But you got to be careful, Sammy, not to sound salesy with cold calls. Just be short, be sweet. And I mean, it could be, and if you're thinking of the business, you could just say, hey, do you know? And I always say, do you know anybody? Because they're thinking of other people. And then they're like, wait a minute, I could do that. And I've had a lot of people say that. I'm like, do you know anybody who da-da-da-da? And they're like, well, I don't know anybody, but I have type 2 diabetes. So how could this help me? And I was like, oh my gosh, the Plexus Slim was created for people for type 2 diabetics, actually. And they just found out in the trials that everybody was losing weight. So they labeled it Slim, but actually it balances blood sugar. Let's get some of this in your hands right now. Send me your information and we'll get you some of this right away. I mean, it's just conversation. And they're like, yeah, I guess I'll give that a try. I was like, cool, let's go ahead and hook you up. And we have a whole bunch of other products too, but let's go and get you started right here. I'm just not trying to push anything else. Another thing, one more tip. If people are saying to you, if you know there's somebody that needs one of our products and they've kind of ghosted you and they've blown off your message and they've over and over and over, and they'd be an influencer, they're a massive influencer too. You're like, if she likes it, I know she'd share. And you get this idea and you create this jewel in your head before you even know if they want to do the business or not. We've all done it, okay? So to those kind of people, what I say is hey, listen, I know people have reached out to you about, I know I've reached out to you about this because you talk about your migraines every day on social media. And I know you said you weren't interested and I know you haven't given this a shot, but let me tell you what, we're one of the only companies that you can try our product and get all your money back. Why would you not give it a shot? You know what, matter of fact, get it from me or get it from somebody else, but please try it. Please try this. When I say get it from me or get it from somebody else, I've all of a sudden taken that she's trying to make money from me. Because I tell you what, if it's somebody I really love and care about, I honestly don't care if I make the money off of them. I honestly don't care if they join my team. Because if it's a really good friend of mine, I'm not going to lie, I don't want them to be in pain. And I want them to feel better. So I'm being completely honest. Yes, it'd be a bonus and it'd be great if they buy from me, but I want them to try this. Because maybe they do try it, maybe they do go buy from their neighbor and they end up loving it and they end up sharing and their influence helps my downline. They're my sphere of influence because we're mutual friends. All of a sudden, oh, she's doing it too. Well, maybe Roz was right. All these people we know in common are doing it. No matter who's using Plexus, you guys, no matter who's doing it out there, it always benefits us. So I hope that helps, Sammy. I hope I didn't go down like a total rabbit trail because sometimes I totally do that, y'all. I'm so bad with it sometimes. People are like, get back on track. Get back on track.
I can listen to you talk all night. Like, I'm not even joking. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Any last questions?
Anything else? I know it's late, guys.
It's early for us, I think, for most of us.
Oh, what time zone are y'all in?
It's 7:55 in California.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little, it's not everybody's from California, but a lot of our team.
I was just in San Diego this weekend.
That's right. Oh, it looks like a great trip. Oh, it's 11 back east. Okay, well, thank you so much. I know it's late where you are. I so appreciate your time and everything that you had to share with all of our team. Like you said, it doesn't just influence your team when you share, or just our team when you share. It influences all of Plexus, and you're just building us all up. And I just so appreciate you, and no wonder why you're a diamond. So thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Good night.